Ladies and gentlemen, too many people out here chasing what ain't meant for them, running after people who ain't running after you, holding on to hands that ain't reaching for yours. And when it's all said and done, you're left tired, broken, wondering why you wasted so much time. Listen to me. Stop chasing. Stop begging for love that ain't freely given. If a person is meant for you, they will come. If they are the right one, they will see you, value you, and move heaven and earth to be by your side. You don't have to manipulate it. You don't have to force it. See, when you focus on you, on your growth, your peace, your purpose, the right one will recognize you. He will find you because you are walking in your truth, standing in your power. But if you keep lowering your standards, if you keep accepting less than what you deserve, then all you're doing is blocking your own blessings. A real man, an honest, loyal, driven man, ain't looking for desperation. He's looking for a woman who knows her worth, a woman who walks with grace, speaks with wisdom, and carries herself like a queen. And queens don't chase. They don't settle. They don't beg for a seat at a table when they can build their own. So hear me when I say this. Get yourself together. Love yourself. Heal yourself. Work on yourself. Because when you are where you need to be, the right man will recognize that. He will find you, cherish you, and never let you go. But you got to be ready. You got to be whole. Because if you still tangled up in brokenness, still tied to the wrong people, you might just miss the blessing that's meant for you. So let the right man find you. But first, make sure you find you. Too many people spend their lives running after someone who was never meant for them. They lower their standards, compromise their values, and ignore every red flag just to hold on to something that was never truly theirs. But love, real love, doesn't require chasing. It doesn't require begging, convincing, or proving your worth to someone who doesn't see it. When you chase, you put yourself in a position of desperation, and desperation will always lead you into the wrong hands. It makes you settle for half-hearted efforts, for mixed signals, for someone who only wants you when it's convenient for them. When you chase someone, you give them the power to determine your worth. You let them decide when and how they will love you, and in doing so, you lose sight of the fact that love is supposed to be mutual. It's supposed to be something that flows freely, not something you have to fight for every single day. The truth is, the right person will not need to be convinced to be with you. They will not need to be chased down, reminded of your value, or begged to stay. They will see you, appreciate you, and make it clear that they want to be in your life. A person who truly wants you will show up. They will make the effort. They will communicate. They will prioritize you, and they will give you the consistency that love requires. If you find yourself always being the one who reaches out first, always the one making sacrifices, always the one feeling anxious about where you stand with someone, then that person is not for you. Love should bring you peace, not confusion. It should feel like home, not like a battlefield where you're constantly fighting just to be seen. When you chase, you tell yourself a lie that if you just try hard enough, if you love enough, if you give enough, you can make someone choose you. But love doesn't work that way. The right person will choose you on their own. They will come to you not because you ran after them, but because they recognize your value. So stop running, stop forcing, stop settling. When you stop chasing the wrong one, you make space for the right one to find you. When you focus on yourself, you shift your energy from seeking validation from others to building a life that fulfills you. Too often, people lose themselves in the pursuit of love, bending and twisting into shapes they were never meant to take just to fit into someone else's expectations. But real happiness, real fulfillment doesn't come from being with someone. It comes from knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what kind of life you want to create. When you pour your energy into your own growth, everything changes. You stop settling for less because you finally understand your worth. You stop looking for love in places where it doesn't exist because you built a life so full that you no longer need someone to complete it. You simply desire someone who complements it. The right person will be drawn to you because of the energy you radiate when you are living in your purpose. When you invest in yourself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you become magnetic. You attract people who are on the same wavelength, who respect and admire the strength it took for you to build yourself up. But when you are constantly seeking external validation, you end up in situations where you are more focused on proving yourself to someone else than actually becoming the best version of yourself. Growth isn't about impressing anyone. It's about evolving, about learning, about becoming the person you were meant to be. When you are so focused on chasing after someone, you put your own progress on pause. But when you focus on your peace, your goals, and your own journey, the right one will recognize that and meet you where you are. A real man, an honest, loyal, and driven man, isn't looking for someone who is desperate for attention. He isn't impressed by how much you can chase, how much you can tolerate, or how much you are willing to bend to fit into his life. He is looking for someone who carries herself with confidence, who knows she is valuable without needing someone to constantly remind her. A man who is serious about love and commitment is drawn to a woman who holds herself to a standard, who doesn't settle for half-hearted love or empty promises. When a man sees that you value yourself, he understands that if he wants to be part of your life, he has to come correct. He has to bring consistency, effort, and intention. But if you keep lowering your standards, keep making excuses for someone's lack of effort, then all you're doing is sending the message that they can get away with giving you the bare minimum. A woman who knows her worth carries herself differently. She walks into a room with a presence that commands respect, not because she demands it, but because she embodies it. She speaks with wisdom because she has taken the time to learn herself. She moves with grace because she understands that her value is not determined by anyone else's opinion. And because she knows she is enough, she will never settle for being an option in someone else's life. A queen does not beg to be chosen. She does not fight for a place where she is not wanted. She does not wait around for someone to decide whether or not she is worth the effort. She simply exists in her power, knowing that the right man, the man who sees her, who values her, who is ready to love her, will step forward without hesitation. The right person will recognize you without you having to prove yourself or beg for their attention. When someone is meant to be in your life, their actions will reflect it. They will see your value without you having to constantly remind them of who you are and what you bring to the table. Too many people waste time trying to convince someone to love them, to stay, or to see their worth. But the truth is, the right person won't need convincing. They will naturally recognize the qualities you have and appreciate them. When you are with the right person, you won't feel invisible, misunderstood, or like you are constantly fighting to be heard. They will make you feel seen, valued, and respected, because that's how love is supposed to be. When you try to force a connection with the wrong person, you exhaust yourself emotionally and mentally. You start overcompensating, giving too much, excusing poor behavior, and accepting less than you deserve. But love should never drain you. Love should pour into you. When someone genuinely wants to be with you, they won't put you in a position where you feel like you have to chase them down or compete for their time and attention. You will know where you stand because they will make it clear. The right person will not play games with your heart or make you question their intentions. Instead, they will prioritize you. They will be consistent. They will make the effort to be present in your life because they want to be there. People often get caught up in the idea that if they do more, give more, or love harder, the wrong person will eventually become the right one. But that's not how it works. You can't force someone to see your worth if they're not ready or willing to. And if you keep chasing after someone who doesn't value you, you're only distracting yourself from the person who will. The right person will recognize your light without you having to dim it or change who you are. They will accept you fully, your strengths, your flaws, and everything in between. You won't have to earn their love, because real love isn't a prize you win. It's something given freely and willingly. When someone is right for you, they will make it known. They will not keep you guessing, wondering if they care. Their words will match their actions. If someone wants to be in your life, nothing will keep them from showing up for you. You won't have to send multiple messages just to get their attention. You won't have to tolerate being treated like an afterthought. And you definitely won't have to convince them to choose you. The right person will see you clearly and step up because they recognize how rare and valuable you are. It is not your job to make someone see your worth. It is not your responsibility to carry a relationship by yourself. If you are constantly trying to prove your value to someone, you are in the wrong place. The right person will not need to be persuaded to stay. They will want to be there because they know your presence is a blessing. And when you hold yourself to that standard, when you refuse to accept anything less, you open the door for the kind of love that will never require you to chase it. If you accept less than what you deserve, you are teaching others how to treat you. Every time you tolerate inconsistency, dishonesty, or disrespect, you send the message that this behavior is acceptable. People will only rise to the level of expectation you set for them. If you continue to allow people to come in and out of your life as they please, to give you only fragments of their love and attention, they will never feel the need to give you more. But when you value yourself, when you refuse to settle for anything less than respect, loyalty, and consistency, you create a standard that only the right people will meet. You make it clear that you are not someone to be taken for granted and that the person who wants to be in your life must show up fully, not halfway. The truth is, what you allow is what will continue. If you accept half-hearted love, you will keep receiving half-hearted love. If you settle for mixed signals and inconsistency, you will always be left feeling unsure and insecure. And if you constantly excuse poor behavior, you will find yourself in a cycle of disappointment, always hoping that someone will change, only to be let down again and again. But love should not be something that requires you to beg, to tolerate disrespect, or to constantly wonder where you stand. Real love is clear. It is intentional. It does not leave you feeling confused or unwanted. When you truly understand your worth, you stop entertaining anything that does not align with the love and respect you deserve. You no longer waste time trying to fix people who do not want to be fixed. You do not invest in relationships that drain you more than they fulfill you. You walk away from situations that do not bring you peace. You learn that being alone is better than being in a relationship that makes you feel lonely. You recognize that your love is valuable, that your presence is a gift, and that anyone who cannot see that does not deserve access to you. Lowering your standards does not make people love you more. It only makes them respect you less. When you compromise your values just to keep someone around, you are sacrificing your own happiness for the sake of a relationship that is not even fulfilling you. And the harsh truth is, when you keep allowing someone to mistreat you, they do not wake up one day and suddenly realize your worth. More often than not, they continue to take advantage of your kindness, knowing that no matter what they do, you will still be there. When you finally decide that you deserve better, when you refuse to settle for anything less than a love that is real, that is consistent, that is full of effort and intention, you create space for the right person to enter your life. Loving yourself enough to walk away from what no longer serves you is one of the most powerful things you can do. It is a declaration that you are no longer willing to accept anything less than the best. It is a sign that you are ready for something greater, something deeper, something that does not require you to shrink yourself just to be loved. And when you finally embrace that mindset, you will find that the right people, the ones who truly value and appreciate you, will meet you at the level you deserve. A real man, an honest, loyal, and driven man is not looking for someone who is desperate for love or willing to settle for anything just to say they have someone. He is looking for a woman who knows her worth, who stands firm in her values, and who carries herself with confidence. A man who is serious about commitment is drawn to a woman who does not compromise her standards just to please him. He respects a woman who knows what she brings to the table and refuses to accept anything less than what she deserves. When you know your value, you set the tone for how others treat you. If you allow inconsistency, lack of effort, or half-hearted love, you will continue to attract people who give you the bare minimum. But when you show that you require honesty, loyalty, and intentional love, only those who are willing to meet those expectations will remain in your life. A real man is not looking for someone who will chase him, beg for his attention, or tolerate disrespect. He is looking for someone who moves with grace, speaks with wisdom, and exudes confidence. A woman who knows her worth does not have to demand respect. She naturally commands it by the way she carries herself. She does not waste her time on men who do not recognize her value because she understands that her time, her love, and her energy are too precious to be given to someone who does not appreciate them. She does not fall for empty words or broken promises because she knows that true love is shown through consistent actions, not just spoken intentions. She does not try to force someone to see her worth because she knows that the right person will recognize it without hesitation. A man who is ready for a real relationship is not intimidated by a woman who knows what she wants. He does not play games or make her feel like she has to compete for his attention. He does not disappear and reappear when it is convenient for him. He does not make her question where she stands in his life. Instead, he steps up. He is intentional. He makes it clear that he wants to be there, that he values her, and that he is willing to put in the effort to build something meaningful. A real man does not just say he loves you, he shows it. He shows it in the way he prioritizes you, in the way he respects your time, in the way he listens to you, in the way he supports your dreams, and in the way he makes sure you never feel like you are an afterthought. A woman who knows her worth will never settle for being an option in someone's life. She understands that if a man is serious about her, he will make it known. She does not waste time trying to prove that she is worthy of love because she already knows she is. She does not lower her standards just to keep someone around because she understands that the right man will meet her where she is. He will not need her to shrink, to settle, or to accept less than what she deserves. She knows that love is not about chasing, begging, or compromising her happiness just to make a relationship work. Love is about mutual effort, mutual respect, and mutual commitment. A real man will recognize the value of a woman who holds herself to a high standard. He will not try to diminish her confidence, break her spirit, or make her feel like she has to change who she is to be with him. Instead, he will admire her strength, respect her independence, and appreciate the fact that she refuses to settle for anything less than the love she deserves. When a man truly values you, he will make the effort. He will show up for you. He will make you feel safe, secure, and loved. He will not just tell you he loves you. He will prove it every single day through his actions. And when you know your worth, you will never accept anything less. A queen does not chase. She does not run after love. She does not beg for attention. And she does not waste her time trying to convince someone to see her worth. A woman who carries herself with confidence and self-respect understands that what is meant for her will never require her to abandon her dignity. She does not operate from a place of desperation because she knows that love, real, deep, and lasting love, is never something that has to be forced. The right man, the man who is meant to be in her life, will not require her to lower herself, to accept less than she deserves, or to fight for a place in his life. Instead, he will recognize her value, step up, and meet her at the level she stands on. A queen understands that the moment she starts chasing after someone, she shifts the balance of power. She places her happiness in someone else's hands, allowing them to dictate when and how they show up in her life. She allows them to take her presence for granted because they know she will always be there, always waiting, always giving more than she receives. But a woman who respects herself does not tolerate one-sided love. She does not put herself in a position where she is constantly questioning her worth based on how someone else treats her. Instead, she carries herself with grace, knowing that the right person will never make her feel like she has to fight for their attention. When a woman chases a man, she unintentionally gives him permission to do the bare minimum. She sets a precedent that tells him he does not have to put in the effort, that he does not have to be consistent, that he does not have to prioritize her because she is already doing all the work. But when a woman knows her value, she does not engage in that dynamic. She does not waste her energy on someone who is unsure about her. She does not wait around for someone to figure out if they want to be with her. She does not lower her standards just to hold on to someone who does not see her worth. Instead, she remains focused on her own life, her own growth, and her own happiness, trusting that the right man will come when the time is right. A woman who knows her worth understands that love is not about running after someone. It is about two people choosing each other every single day without hesitation. The right relationship is built on mutual effort, mutual respect, and mutual desire. If she has to beg for it, if she has to constantly remind someone of her value, then that love is not real and it is not worth her time. A man who truly cares, who truly wants to be in her life, will show up without being chased. He will pursue her with intention, with clarity, and with respect. He will not play games. He will not make her feel like she has to compete for his love. And he will not take her presence for granted. A woman of value does not place her happiness in the hands of another person. She does not believe that her worth is dependent on whether or not someone chooses her. She chooses herself first. She builds a life that fulfills her, that brings her joy, that reflects her purpose. She does not sit around waiting for someone to validate her existence. She steps into her power, knowing that the right man will recognize her strength, her beauty, and her heart without her having to chase after him. She understands that when she holds herself to a high standard, she naturally attracts people who respect and appreciate her for who she is. When a woman refuses to chase, she shifts the dynamic. She forces the right man to step up, to put in effort, to prove that he is worthy of standing beside her. She does not waste her energy on the wrong people because she knows that her time is too valuable to be spent on someone who does not see her worth. And when the right man comes along, he will not only recognize her value, he will cherish it, protect it, and honor it. Because a queen does not chase, she attracts. And the right man will always find her. Patience is a virtue, especially when it comes to love. In a world where everything is fast-paced, instant messages, quick hookups, fleeting connections, it's easy to feel like you have to rush, like you have to settle for whoever comes first, instead of waiting for what's truly meant for you. But love is not something that should be rushed. It's not something that should be forced or taken lightly. The best things in life take time. The right man, the one who is meant to love you the way you deserve, will come at the right time. And when he does, you will understand why it never worked out with anyone else. There is strength in waiting, but it's not just about sitting around hoping for someone to come into your life. It's about using that time wisely, about becoming the best version of yourself so that when the right person comes, you are ready. Too many people waste their waiting season chasing after love, settling for less, or entertaining the wrong people just to fill a void. But when you rush, when you settle, when you give your heart away too quickly, you risk ending up with someone who isn't aligned with your purpose, someone who isn't ready to love you the way you deserve. Patience in love means trusting that what's meant for you will come, and it will come in a way that does not require you to suffer, to beg, or to sacrifice your self-worth. It means understanding that just because you are single right now, it doesn't mean you are behind, it doesn't mean you are missing out, and it certainly doesn't mean you should lower your standards just to have someone by your side. A relationship built on desperation, loneliness, or fear of being alone will never be fulfilling. It will only bring temporary satisfaction, followed by long-term regret. But when you wait for the right one, when you allow things to unfold naturally, you open yourself up to a love that is solid, that is true, that is built on a foundation that cannot be shaken. A woman who understands her worth does not rush into relationships just for the sake of being in one. She knows that love is too precious to be given to just anyone. She takes her time, she gets to know herself. She builds a life that she loves on her own. She does not sit around waiting for a man to complete her because she knows she is already whole. She uses her waiting season to grow, to heal, to become everything she was meant to be. And in doing so, she positions herself to attract the right kind of love, the love that does not require her to compromise who she is, the love that complements her instead of completing her. The right man will never make you feel like you have to rush. He will never pressure you into something you are not ready for. He will understand that real love is built over time, through patience, through consistency, through effort. He will not come into your life just to waste your time. He will be intentional. He will make it clear that he wants to be there, that he values you, that he sees you. And because you waited, because you refused to settle, because you chose to trust the process instead of forcing something that wasn't meant for you, you will recognize the difference between something temporary and something real. Patience is not always easy. It requires faith. It requires discipline. It requires the ability to walk away from situations that do not serve you, even when your heart wants to hold on. It requires strength to say no to temporary pleasure so that you can wait for permanent peace. But the woman who waits, the woman who trusts, the woman who knows that the right love will come at the right time, she is the one who will experience love in its purest, most beautiful form, because she did not chase. She did not settle. She trusted. She grew. She remained patient. And in the end, love found her exactly where she was meant to be. Healing is necessary before you can receive the love you truly deserve. Too many people carry the weight of their past into their future relationships, expecting a new love to fix the wounds that were never properly healed. But love cannot thrive in a heart that is still broken, in a mind that is still trapped in past pain, or in a soul that is still holding on to things that no longer serve it. The love you want, the deep, intentional, fulfilling love, requires you to let go of what hurt you, to release the baggage, and to step into a new version of yourself that is ready to receive something greater. Healing does not happen overnight. It is a process, and it requires you to be honest with yourself. It requires you to confront the things you have been avoiding, the heartbreak, the disappointments, the betrayals, the moments where you felt unworthy or unloved. You cannot simply suppress the pain and hope that a new relationship will erase it. Unhealed wounds do not disappear. They resurface. They show up in the way you love, in the way you trust, in the way you respond to affection, and even in the way you perceive yourself. That is why true healing is not about pretending to be okay. It is about doing the work, facing the pain, and allowing yourself to grow from it. Many people enter relationships seeking validation, hoping that someone else's love will make them feel whole. But when you depend on another person to fill your voids, you place an unfair burden on them because no one else can complete you. The love you seek must first come from within. You have to learn to love yourself, to affirm yourself, to build yourself up in a way that does not rely on someone else's presence. When you heal, you realize that love is not about finding someone to fix you. It is about finding someone who complements the wholeness you have already created within yourself. Healing also means breaking cycles. If you have been in toxic relationships, if you have accepted less than you deserve, if you have allowed yourself to be mistreated in the past, then healing requires you to reflect on why. It requires you to recognize the patterns, to understand the reasons you stayed in situations that were not serving you, and to make the conscious decision to never settle for that again. It is not enough to say you want better. You have to prepare yourself to receive better. And that starts with you, your mindset, your standards, your self-respect, and your willingness to walk away from anything that does not align with your healing. A healed woman moves differently. She does not accept breadcrumbs because she knows she deserves the whole loaf. She does not entertain inconsistency because she values stability. She does not allow someone to play with her heart because she has learned the hard way what it feels like to be broken, and she refuses to go through that again. A healed woman is confident in who she is, and because of that, she attracts a love that mirrors her growth. She does not chase, she does not beg, she does not tolerate less than she deserves. She simply exists in her wholeness, and the right man, the one who has also done his own healing, will recognize her, respect her, and love her the way she was always meant to be loved. Healing requires patience. It requires discipline. It requires the ability to say no to temporary pleasure in favor of long-term peace. It means understanding that being alone for a while is better than being in the wrong relationship. It means choosing yourself, even when it's hard, even when you miss someone, even when you want to go back to what is familiar. Because healing is not about comfort, it is about growth. And growth is what prepares you for the kind of love that does not require you to sacrifice your happiness just to keep it. When you take the time to heal, you become a magnet for the love that is meant for you. You do not attract people who are looking for someone to fix them, to carry their burdens, or to be their emotional crutch. You attract someone who has also healed, who has done the work, and who is ready to love you in a way that feels safe, secure, and real. Because love is not meant to be a battlefield. It is meant to be a place of peace. And when you have healed, you will never again mistake chaos for passion, inconsistency for love, or pain for devotion. You will recognize the difference, and you will never settle for less than you deserve. The right man will find you, not because you chased him, not because you settled, and not because you compromised your worth, but because you stood firm in who you are. He will find you at the right time, when you are whole, when you are healed, when you are walking in your purpose, and when you refuse to accept anything less than the love you deserve. You do not have to beg for real love. You do not have to convince the right man to choose you. The love that is meant for you will recognize you, honor you, and cherish you without hesitation. So keep growing, keep healing, keep becoming the best version of yourself, because when you do, love will meet you exactly where you are, and you will never again have to question if you are enough. You already are.